Hello, and welcome to our video about confidence intervals using Z or T. Earlier, we learned how to find confidence intervals using both the Z chart and the T chart. The problem is, if I don't tell you whether to use Z or T, how would you know which one to use? This will be important because on test 3, there's going to be 6 questions about Z charts and T charts. 3 for Z, 3 for T. And I won't tell you which one they are, so you got to be able to figure this out. Let's take a look at our questions. They both say find the 99% confidence interval. They both say that the mean is 92 and the sample size is 15. But notice the one on the left. It says population standard deviation. And the one on the right just says standard deviation. That's the key word that I want you to learn. If you see population standard deviation in that order, that means we're going to have to use the Z chart. If you see standard deviation, but you don't see population standard deviation, use the T chart. So, let's get some answers here. So, for the one on the left, we're going to use the Z chart. And what we know is that for 99%, the Z score is equal to 2.575. With that, we can find the error. So the error will equal to 2.575 times the standard deviation, which is 11. Fix that. And divide by the square root of the sample size, which is 15. All right, let me add some things here. Do a fraction sign here, square root there. And the error is going to equal to 7.3. And then finally, we can do mean minus and mean plus. So 92 minus 7.3 is equal to 84.7. Then 92 plus 7.3 is equal to 99.3. So our confidence interval will be 84.7 to 99.3. Okay, now let's do the same thing for the T-score. All right, so first of all, it's 99%. The sample size is 15, so that means we have to look for 14 degrees of freedom, which means that T will equal to 2.977. Good. Next, we're going to find the error. Let's get that in. So the error will equal to 2.977 times the standard deviation, which is 11, and divide by the square root of 15. So I'll put this right here, do a square root right there. And that's going to equal to 8.5. Now we can do mean minus and mean plus. So 92 minus 8.5 is equal to 83.5. Then 92 plus 8.5 is equal to 100.5. So the confidence interval for that will be 83.5, comma, 100.5. All right, so if you see population standard deviation, use Z chart. If you see just standard deviation, use T chart. All right, well, let's take a look at these questions. Part A, sample of 10 students has a mean score of 74 and a population standard deviation of 8. Because it said population standard deviation, we're going to use the z-score. So, first of all, we got to figure the z-score for 95%. And for that, the z-score is going to equal to 1.96. Next, we will find the error. Error will equal to 1.96 times the standard, which is 8, divided by the square root of 10. Let's see, do that, do this. And if you do that, we're going to get it equal to, let's see, let me type it in the calculator. There we go, 5.0. So now we can do mean minus and mean plus. 74 minus 5.0 is 69.0. 74 plus 5.0 equals to 79.0. So there's our confidence interval. Let's take a look at B. Sample of 19 instructors has a mean salary of 55 and a standard deviation of 14. It said standard deviation, but it did not say population standard deviation. So that means it is we have to use the t-chart. So, what we're going to have to do is find out where, let's see, 95% and 18 degrees of freedom. That means the t-score will equal to 2.101. All right. Okay, now we can find our error. So our error is going to equal to 2.101 times the standard, which is 14, and divide that by the square root of 19. There we go. And if you put that in the calculator, you're going to get 6.7. And finally, we can do 55 minus 6.7 and 55 plus 6.7. So if you subtract, you're going to get 48.3. And if you add, you are going to get 61.7. All right, very good. All right, part C. Sample of 28 cars have a mean top speed of 120 miles per hour and a standard deviation of 16 miles per hour. Again, it says standard deviation, so that means we got to use the t-chart. So for that, we're looking for 99% and 27 degrees of freedom. So that means the t-score is going to equal to 2.771. All right, now we can find the error, which is 2.771 times 16. Whoops, let me fix that. And divide by the square root of 28. We'll do something like this and something like that. Good, good. And that's going to equal to 8.4. And finally, we can do mean minus and mean plus. So 120 minus 8.4 is equal to 111.6. 120 plus 8.4 equals 128.4. All right, looking good. All right, part D. Sample of 7 houses have a mean price of $190,000 and a population standard deviation of 24,000. Because it says population standard deviation, we have to use the z-chart. And for 99%, the z-score is equal to 2.575. Let's do the same thing. Let's find our error. That's equal to 2.575 times 24. And we're going to divide that by the square root of 7. All right, let's see what we can do. There's our fraction. There's our square root. That's going to equal to 23.4. All right, finally, we can do mean minus and mean plus. So 190 minus 23.4, 23.4 is equal to 166.6. And then 190 plus 23.4 equals 213.4. Just like that. So that concludes our lesson on how to recognize Z or T chart. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have a great afternoon.